It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
This is 2K Sports. I'm Ernie Johnson. Welcome to the NBA. We're joined by the legends, Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. In this game, we'll see the Charlotte Hornets going up against the Sacramento Kings. Well, for Sacramento, they've gone 4-1 over the last 5, playing pretty well, and they're looking to build on that tonight. The Hornets don't have a lot of three-point threats, and subsequently last season didn't really punish teams from deep. Kenny, you think this team can go deep in the playoffs without having a strong game from the outside?
I don't know, Ernie, because it's very hard to succeed in the NBA without any sharpshooters. Think about this, Ernie. The final 5 teams in the playoffs last year were the 5 teams that took the most threes.
Exactly.
Charlotte was dead last in the league last year in three-point percentage, 31.8%, and they showed up in the standings. They reminded of myself on the free throw line. They stink.
Well, it wasn't that bad.
You were good in the clutch.
It
you
was
were good
bad.
in the clutch, though.
It was bad.
They were not good in the clutch. You were.
That's my point.
It was very nice of you to have his back.
I'm just
that
keeping it right, not real.
All right. Let's go to Kevin Harlan, who always does both of those things.
Welcome, everyone, to the NBA on 2K Sports. Hi, this is Kevin Harlan, joined by my partners, Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg. We're at the Time Warner Cable Arena, the home of the Hornets. We are live in Charlotte, North Carolina. And, of course, Marco Bellinelli. Let's see how they continue to fare without him.
You know, what the trade means to me, guys, is they think some of their younger players are ready to spread their wings and take on a little more responsibility. They're going to get more minutes for those guys and allow them to see a little more playing time.
Clearly a forward-thinking deal, you know, and even if his aren't the biggest shoes to fill, it still puts a lot of pressure on your young guys. And let's see if they're ready to fill that void.
Ready, gentlemen? Ready?
Tip-off goes to Charlotte. Now Sacramento starting 5. Allison runs the point with McLemore at the 2. Rudy Gay is out there with DeMarcus Cousins. And it's Cauley Stein in at the 5. Well, the main problem last year for the Kings, Greg, their defense. Just couldn't slow teams down on their end of the court, and it cost them.
Yeah, and listen, a lot of it had to do with the defensive problem overall. They were pretty much in the bottom 10 of every major defensive category and dead last in blocks as well. Nice work to get it inside and draw the contact.
Exactly. The defense determined not to allow the easy layup right there. They'll settle for making him earn the free throws. And you said it. I mean, the Kings had a tough time on defense. They also gave up the most fast break points in the league. I mean, they had a tough time getting back and defending in transition.
So he comes up empty, missing both.
And the Kings were last in fast break points allowed. As you mentioned, what is odd was that there were rumors last season that the front office wanted to try out cherry picking on purpose. Pretty sure that's one of the worst ideas to try out in the NBA.
Williams dishes to Hibbert, got a piece of it. Allison with it. He's coming off a 10-point game against the Magic in Orlando.
And equally as impressive, the playmaking. Just sensational. The way he was seeing the court and making the game easy for his teammates.
Here's Walker after Darren Collison's bucket. Hibbert with a screen on Collison. And Walker kicks to Batum. Can't hit from in close.
Not too much congestion in the lane. I think he could have gotten a better shot that time, no question.
Gay can't get it to go. Last game for the Kings, they picked up the W against the Magic in Orlando.
And believe it or not, it wasn't the star that led the charge for them in that win. It was about the role players. I mean, the guys who they don't usually count on for the lion's share of their points came through.
Guys, simply a complete team performance, and road wins where everybody contributes really can galvanize a team and bring it together.
Here's Gay. Kemba Walker making his last shot. Here's Cousins. And he gets the kind bounce as that one drops in for him.
That's just run-of-the-mill for him. A typical day at the office. He's one of the more skilled offensive players out there.
Outside, Walker. Pass to Lamb. Shoots it. Cousins pulls it in.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that.
And out of bounds as the Hornets gain possession.
Well, that's inexcusable to throw a pass that far off the mark.
First quarter of ball, almost 2.5 minutes in. Walker the pass to Lamb. Hibbert dishes to Walker. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Lamb. The shot's good on the assist by Walker. Lamb's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. Outside Collison. About 3 minutes gone here in the first quarter. Here's Cauley Stein. Makes it off the glass.
Yeah, how about the purpose with which he's crashing the backboards right now? Some hard-earned second chance points.
Williams with a clean look. With nobody on him, he buries the jumper. The Kings have gotten 4 of 6 field goal attempts to drop in the first quarter.
And guys, you know, last year Marvin Williams signed a big contract, and he did not follow that up with big production. In fact, he tied a career low in terms of his field goal percentage at only 42, and not exactly what the Hornets were expecting from their new stretch 4.
Well, the thing about Marvin Williams, you know, we know he doesn't create for others. He doesn't generate a lot of blocks or steals. But, you know, the one thing he does, he can hit the boards, he rebounds well, and he's got a pretty good shot from outside.
Yeah, and last season he didn't have any big numbers, but the ones that were at least respectable were in the areas you just mentioned, rebounding and three-point shooting, Kevin.
That free throw good for McLemore. McLemore drops them both.
And one thing about Ben McLemore, he can be an absolute lights-out shooter. Last season was a big improvement over his rookie campaign. Up in field goal, three-point, and free throw accuracy. Really just scratching the surface in terms of his potential.
Cauley Stein kicks to Cousins, and the wide-open shot from Collison. Off target from three-point range.
You know, even though he missed that three-point shot, I think the defense has to do a better job of challenging the shot.
Yeah, as a coach, you can really ill afford to have those types of opportunities presented against your defense.
And for Ben McLemore out of Kansas, he knew he had to work harder after the Kings drafted a guy to replace him, Nick Stauskas. And, of course, Stauskas went on to have Clark an even worse rookie campaign than McLemore had the year before.
Yeah, and McLemore actually on the uptick, very much improving in year 2, and that means perhaps Stauskas will be the odd man out.
He's off on the first. And guys, over his first 3 seasons, no question Jeremy Lamb has been a major disappointment. Clark, his game simply didn't seem to evolve at all over that time.
Well, that's why scouting is an inexact science. You know, he was a major piece in that James Harden trade, Kevin, a few years back, but just hasn't found the traction anticipated for him.
He doesnn't get the second one.
And on the topic of Lamb, he really has everything he needs to succeed. Great length and athleticism. Was an excellent all-around jump shooter in college. For some reason, his game just hasn't translated to the NBA level yet. But I think if he can improve his motor, he's going to have an opportunity to be an impact player for a long time.
Bellinelli, he's checked in for Lamb.
Find the lanes. One shot.
That's good from Collison.
And, you know, regarding Lamb's development, most scouts felt the weaknesses he did have could be ironed out over time. Well, there's still time. He needs to improve his strength, his ball handling, and his effort on defense. All things well within his control.
He used that pick just right. Ellinelli's got himself on the board with 3 there.
You know, there's no better sign of how efficiently a team is operating than their assist numbers. And theirs are fantastic.
Just beautiful when they play the game like this.
Game. No good. And the Hornets now going the other way. They're coming off that win against Philadelphia.
They just weren't challenged. I mean, nearly as much as they should have been in that game, at least when they had the ball.
Yeah, it was a mismatch. I mean, the defense from the start was on its heels practically the entire game.
Just a great job of attacking on the break.
Yeah, you know, exploding to the basket like that, Greg, just as soon as that ball was going the other way, that's exactly how you want to do it.
Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Well, Steve Clifford had a few moments to share with me. He said a big part of their focus defensively will be on trying to contain Rudy Gay, adding he presents some challenges because he can shoot over the top and also he's a tremendous finisher inside. We've got to force him to that left hand, but I'm hoping we won't have to double too much because they have plenty of other guys who can knock it down. Kevin, the challenges are full.
And thank you for that, Doris. Williams gets the bucket.
Clearly, he's one of the best there is in the business when it comes to making that lead pass.
Kings leading now by 4. Outside Collison. High post Cousins. Lets the 3 fly. It's rebounded by Charlotte.
They've been sensational on the backboard to start this game.
Yeah, sensational is a really good word for it, Greg. They're tearing it up on the glass.
Cody Zeller's checked in for Charlotte. Kaminsky comes in for Williams. The Kings also with the sub. Caspy's checked in. Charlotte has gone 2 or 3 from deep so far in this game. Hit by Zeller. Outside Batum. 6 on the shot clock. He dishes it to Zeller. A shot by Kaminsky. Nobody around. The 18-footer is right on the mark. Timeout is called. First of the game for Sacramento.
You know, and for Cody Zeller, after that promising rookie campaign, he just did not tear it up in year 2. In fact, his production only improved slightly. But that was mostly due to the increase in playing time. Talented guy, no doubt, just still trying to find his way in the league.
And for Cody Zeller, Greg, there's a reason he was the 4th overall pick back in 2013. He showed the size and athleticism to be a difference maker in college. And Clark, now he has to do it at the pro level as well. And I think people are pretty confident he can.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with those folks myself because he does have the tools. It's now a matter of transitioning and becoming a little better shooting the ball than he's shown.
Changes for Charlotte. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist is checked in for Batum. And Sessions subbed in for Kemba Walker. And the Kings will go for a different look here. Kufis checked in for Cauley Stein. Barnes comes in for DeMarcus Cousins. Aaron Aflalo, he's checked in for Ben McLemore. And Garrett Temple subbed in for Darren Collison. Here's Temple. He's averaging around 5.5 points a game. To the inside. Here's Caspy. No good. And Charlotte will go the other way with it. This game against Sacramento is the first time they've met this year.
Yeah, a pair of losses for them in their meetings last season. And the cold, hard truth about it, they just had a hard time beating anybody last year.
You know, Greg, those were games where you thought they could get a win. But now they need to forget about it. It's in the past. Let it go. And they've got to focus on the present and try to make a better run of it this time. And, you know, guys, Marco Bellinelli really hit his stride 2 seasons ago. He was way up across the board as a shooter and assist man. Even his rebounding had improved over his career averages. But then last year, he took a bit of a step back.
And it's tied up with that one. Talking about Bellinelli, he won the NBA three-point shootout back in 2014. Looked like he'd perfected his stroke. That gave him, Greg, confidence in every other part of his game.
And talent is one thing, but confidence truly does trump almost everything else. And he just didn't seem to have it last season. But he has that craftiness and high-level skill set to really bounce back this year and prove that he's the real deal. The lead changes hands once more. There has been no separation between these two teams.
You know, it's made for one heck of an entertaining game. Even when it hasn't been the best basketball being played, it sure has been fun to watch.
Here's Bellinelli. An 11-point game for him in the win against Philadelphia. But he gets it back. And there's the foul. It's on Aaron Flow. That is his first foul of the game. Picked by Zeller. Here's the screen. Kaminsky dishes to Bellinelli. He kicks it to Sessions. A second left. Nobody near Kid Gilchrist. Rebound by the Kings.
Tell you what, they haven't wasted any time getting into the swing of things on the boards.
And even this early, that's a good omen for the rest of the game.
Here's Temple. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. Here's Barnes. Shot clock at 6. Cannot hit. And Charlotte will go the other way with it. Now here's Sessions. Fast break opportunity here. Kid Gilchrist, no luck.
Well, one of his issues is he's a player that just does not excel at fighting through contact on his way to the rim.
Here's Temple. Rebounded by Kaminsky.
The defense ready for him on that possession. They had to be, because he is so strong in the paint.
That's good.
You know, it's really hard not to notice the difference in the passing of these two teams today.
It's a stark discrepancy when you look at the assist columns and you see that difference as far as the fluidity in their respective offenses.
Here's Temple. Michael Kid Gilchrist making his last shot. They set the pick. Temple the pass to Gaspy. And the powerful one-handed slam.
And it was the screen there, guys, that freed him up as he ran his man into it.
And then it was all acceleration, GA, to the bucket right after that.
Almost a backboard breaker.
And now the first timeout called here for the Hornets. Here's Sessions. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against Philadelphia.
And also his assist total tells you about the job he did of keeping his head up and keeping his teammates involved. Quick hands on the steal and then just mad hops on the slam.
Great sequence for them defensively and Clark offensively.
Well, one usually leads to the other, Kevin. That's just good, aggressive, attacking basketball at both ends.
Kid Gilchrist, it's deflected, and the whistle blew, so that'll be a shooting foul. Great defensive effort there with the blocked shot, but he got more than just the ball that time. Free throws coming up right now. And some stats here, guys. The scoring breakdown for Sacramento.
It looks like they're ready to run, fellas. I mean, they haven't hesitated at all to get out on the break so far.
Yeah, also, though, they've done a good job of pounding the offensive glass for second chance points.
And Kid Gilchrist drops them both.
And Kid Gilchrist had that very funky jumper coming into the league. And prior to last year, really worked tirelessly. Not an easy thing to do to try to change the entire form and structure of your jump shot.
Timeout called by the Kings. Clark for Kid Gilchrist, and his shot. It seemed to be a step in the right direction for his entire offensive game.
Well, Kevin, it was the first year of reworking that jump shot, and the mid-range percentage has gone up as a result. That's positive progress.
The Kings leading. Here's Temple. 8 points his last outing. The dish to Casper. He feeds it to Temple. Inside. Tries from 10. Off the left rim and out. Charlotte's gone 2 or 3 from deep so far in this game. And Sessions kicks to Kid Gilchrist. Zeller dishes to Kid Gilchrist. Pass to Sessions. Charlotte moving it around. His second shot goes in, off to a good start, 2 for 2. And so here's Sacramento. 1:56 left here in the opening quarter. Here's Temple. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. Charlotte trailing. Now here's Sessions. Picked by Zeller. Sessions passes to Kid Gilchrist. Now here's Sessions. Tight defense on him. Clock is at 3. Here's Bellinelli. Hits the outside fadeaway. Bellinelli's got 7 points in the game.
And sometimes you just can't get around your defender there. You got to hit him with that high top fade.
Here's Temple. The feed now to Kufis. It's stolen by Kaminsky. Here's Sessions. And the go-ahead bucket, no good. Sacramento's gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc so far in the game. And Caspi kicks to a follow. No good on the triple. And here's Charlotte. Down low. Out of bounds. Sacramento will take possession.
No clue where that pass was going. That is a brutal turnover.
Williams, he's checked in for Bellinelli. 34 seconds left in the first quarter. Follow against Kid Gilchrist. Here's Temple. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. The kick out to Aflalo. Again, the miss by the Kings. Sessions dishes to Kid Gilchrist. Chance there to take the lead. Missing. The 3 from Aflalo. He got it up in time, but it wouldn't fall for him. Tie game here in Charlotte. Stay with us as we get set to bring you the second quarter right after this. And before the game, we heard from Kemba Walker. He talked about his mentality when he steps out onto the floor.
play free. Just play like playing street ball. Just have fun. Just play the game that you've been playing, forever.
He may be having fun, but I'm not so sure playing street ball is really working out for Kemba, who needs to shoot better than 38% for the Hornets to go anywhere, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. I mean, what might be better than continuing to play the same game you've been playing forever is to take your game to a new level, and that's going to take some discipline. I think Kemba has more than enough talent to be able to do that, but that's his challenge moving forward.
Neither team able to build much of a lead up to this point as we start the second quarter. What stands out to you guys from the Hornets in this one?
Really, it's always a positive when you can get some impact off your bench.
Always nice to have firepower coming from the reserves, and they've had firepower and then some so far.
On the court right now for the Kings, McLemore and Gay on the perimeter. Cauley Stein is out there with DeMarcus Cousins, and it's Collison in at the 1. Throw good, Darren Collison. A strong season from Darren Collison cut short last year. Greg shut down at the end of last February.
Yeah, he had that issue with his hip, and that kind of ended things for him in what had been a promising season. A shame, since he was having the best of his career to date.
Collison hits them both.
Collison was having a career year last year, guys. I mean, 16 points a game was a career high for him, and he also shot more threes than ever before.
And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Cousins. Walker the pass to Lamb. And he didn't get quite enough under that one.
And I think even in the injury-shortened season, Collison showed he is still a starter in the NBA.
And you talk about momentum. That sort of action delivers a type of energy to your team that you just can't quantify.
You know what? I'm going to quantify it right now, Clark. And this is a close game, and that was something special.
And really, in a game, you guys, in a game like this, though, when you have a chance to send a message, you do. And boy, did he ever on that play.
That was a nice replay brought to you by Kia. Just over 1 minute has passed here in the second quarter. To the paint, here's Cauley Stein, and there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. That's on Marvin Williams.
You know, guys, in a draft that had a lot of top-tier big men as the top picks, Willie Cauley Stein is a little bit the forgotten man, if you will. But he can be a very impactful player now and down the road as well.
Two shots. Loose shots.
That free throw missing. Greg, with Cauley Stein, his defense is the first thing that you notice. Very adept at shot blocking already. Does a lot of things, Clark, very well.
But, Kevin, I think it's his agility and the way he moves his feet defensively as a 7-footer. He literally can defend all 5 positions.
That's a great point. His perimeter defense, against smaller players, something to behold.
Outstanding.
And he's good on the second. After making it to the playoffs in 2014, the Hornets couldn't repeat the feat in 2015. A slow start probably, Greg, more than anything else did him in.
Really disappointing season coming in with such high expectations, and 33-49 just not good enough to get into the playoffs in any season.
Collison kicks to Gay. Shoots from the baseline. Will not go. This is off the front line. Hornets trail by 3. The pass to Lamb. We're now about 2 minutes into the second quarter. Picked by Williams. Lamb with the ball. Now defended by McLemore. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
You know, for the Hornets, they've not made consecutive playoff appearances since the team moved to New Orleans back in 2002. They just haven't been able to stay consistent enough to make it to the playoffs back-to-back years.
Shooting 2. Shooting 2.
First free throw is good.
And guys, what's rough with the Hornets is that they were a consistent playoff fixture in the late 90s. Still, the team has never made it to the conference finals in its franchise history, and that should be a goal for them in the coming years.
And Lamb drops them both.
Sacramento didn't have a free-flowing offense, and they wanted to get up and down, and it showed in their play transitioning from stagnant to free-flowing.
Collison against Walker. Now here's Collison, guarded closely. Lock at 6. Here's McLemore. And the rebound goes to the Hornets. Williams has got 3 rebounds now in this one. Sacramento, a team that is likely to put it on the floor to attack. We saw that last year. They have no problem creating with player movement versus ball movement, which is something which is a nice way to kind of begin the transition.
It is, and Kevin, they were dead last in the league in terms of catch-and-shoot field goal attempts. Also near the bottom in catch-and-shoot field goal percentage, so they might have been justified in that.
Now here's Lamb, guarded by McLemore. Hibbert at the elbow. Another shot. Outside for Batum. To the left wing. Goes up again. Count that one, and the Kings lead has been cut down to 1 on the bucket from Jeremy Lamb.
Almost an impossible shot to block in the post. The defender can't give up that much of a height advantage and expect to contest it.
Collison in the post, working on Walker. No good from Cousins.
Fadeaway was the right shot there because he got his attempt away from the defender, but the touch was poor.
This is to Hibbert, and stolen by Coley Stein. Up the floor for the finish, and McLemore slams it in.
Yeah, how about the sharp steal and then run out? It looks like they're ready to put the hammer down.
Well, we've been waiting for one of these teams, Greg, to pull away. Maybe that'll be a springboard for them.
Could be. A dunk like that coming off a great defensive play has to build some momentum.
Here's Lamb. Mark that as his 5th miss in 7 shots.
He's going to play his way right onto the bench and out of the game if he continues to shoot it like he has so far in this quarter.
Coley Stein dishes to Cousins. To the middle. Great D that time from Batum.
Oh, excellent interior D to force the miss.
His defensive ability is a big factor. I mean, there's no denying that.
Look at the big fella working on that possession. He knows how to fend guys off and get those rebounds.
And Coley Stein throws it down.
No doubt that is within his range.
Well, I would hope so. He's a pro, and it was only a 1-footer. Come on now.
Hornets trail by 5. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far.
Walker goes in. So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
And watching Kemba Walker play, so explosive. An undersized floor general, nasty crossover. Really a scorer's mentality. Maybe too much of a scorer's mentality to ever be a great assist man.
Shooting 2. Shooting 2.
That's good from Kemba Walker. Greg, talking about Walker, you have to love the way he competes, his willingness, Clark, to put the team on his shoulders and carry him.
Love that competitive spirit of his. They're actually figuring out how to use him best, but he's such a dynamic offensive player. You've got to give him room to be creative at that end.
Charlotte making a switch here. Bellinelli's checked in, and so Walker nails both of them.
And guys, there's no doubt Walker has a lot of the tools needed to be a great point guard. But his shooting percentages is really what has kept him from making the leap. Just not as consistent as he needs to be. And a lot of it has to do with shot selection. That also has to improve.
Stolen by Walker. Poked away and stolen by Cauley Stein. Gay can't hit.
And being that close to the hoop, I thought he had enough room to finish that one.
Here's Bellinelli. Rebound by the Kings. Just thinking again about Kemba Walker's field goal percentage, Greg. You were talking about shot under 40%, Clark, from the floor last year.
Yeah, and I think so much of shooting percentage is a function of shot selection. That's 3 out of the last 4 seasons now under 40% for Kemba. In order to be an elite point guard, that number's got to go up.
The drive by Gay. The shot's good. Collison making the play. 8 points for Rudy Gay.
Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
You know, the defense, Greg, has really been kept off balance because of the outstanding passes. 4 straight field goals have been made off an assist.
Here's Lamb, and the rejection by Cousins. Williams, that's good. Now a timeout called by Sacramento. Thinking about DeMarcus Cousins, Clark, when he was selected, people questioned whether he could stay out of trouble. Many doubted that, he could, but he has stayed clean really since day one.
Yeah, going back 5 years ago, a beat writer actually had the audacity to say he would end up in jail at some point. But Cousins has proved him and others wrong.
And with that Cousins story about the writer, Cousins actually called him out about that failed prediction. I mean, they made amends, however, with the writer eating his words and donating to a charity of Cousins' choice.
So an almost entirely new group in now for Charlotte. Cody Zeller's checked in for Hibbert. Kaminsky comes in for Marvin Williams. Kid Gilchrist, he's checked in for Jeremy Lamb. And Sessions subbed in for Kemba Walker. And so here's Sacramento. 3-point lead.
Yeah, and for Cousins, it's never been a question of talent. I mean, many are glad to see that he's been able to stay focused, really for the first stretch of his career. Ooh, that's as forceful a finish as you're ever going to see out of this guy.
Well, gee, it adds now to their lead in spectacular fashion.
And that lead's only going to grow if they're not prepared to defend a little more staunchly than that.
That's a look you cannot pass up. It's also one you shouldn't miss.
There's the screen. And Temple kicks to Caspi. And there are the Kings with another bucket.
Just impressed with the teamwork out there, setting the table for one another.
5 straight baskets, Greg, resulting from assists. They're playing as one unit out there.
Zeller setting the pick for Sessions. And Costa Koufos picks up the foul. That's foul number 2 for him.
And that's foul number 2. Maybe you don't sit him at this point, but you really have to be careful to not pick up another beforehand.
Down low, here's Kid Gilchrist. Terrific design on the pick foot, and he lays it in. Kid Gilchrist has got his second bucket of the night. Temple the pass to a floater. And the shot is good. Aflalo's got the lead back up to 7 now for the Kings.
These defenders look overmatched right now, especially inside.
Well, they've given up 10 of the last 12 points from close range, so I'd have to agree with you, partner.
Pick by Zeller. Charlotte moving the ball around. Shot clock at 6. Plenty of space. Again, the Hornets score. Out of bounds. Charlotte takes possession.
A chance here to see how the Kings rank in the NBA right now. 8th in blocks, 8th in second chance points. And they're in the top 10 getting into the passing lanes and coming up with steals.
And going back to their block shots, they're fearless, challenging shooters and contesting everything. You end up on a few posters, but I love that willingness to take a stand defensively.
Now here's Sessions. Not a lot of room. Kicks it to Bellinelli. Passes it to Kaminsky. And Charlotte again with the bucket.
That's a nice job of getting the ball in the paint and burying the shot. That's exactly how it's done.
Kings leading now by 3. And Temple kicks to Caspi. Feeds it to Kufis. Ripped away. Follow against Kid Gilchrist. And there's the foul. It's on Aaron Aflalo. That's foul number 2 for him.
And Charlotte had a lot of momentum going into last season off that playoff appearance, but they just stumbled out of the gates last season and spent the whole year playing catch-up.
And the Hornets call time here. Now for the Hornets, they seemed to get back on track last January, but they faded Clark quickly after that. Were too far behind to make up room and get in the playoffs.
And, you know, they had a rash of injuries, Kevin, and that really did them in. All in all, it was a season that just didn't have any traction for them because of the injuries.
Now Bellinelli. 9 points in the game so far. The Hornets have shot 8 of 10 from the line. That's an even 80% free throw shooting here.
This season, in general, has not been kind to them at the free throw line. Only about 71%.
And this year, they haven't quite been able to maintain the free throw percentage they had last season.
All right now, gentlemen, 2 shots. Blue shots.
Free throw good, Sessions.
And former Coach of the Year George Karl making his way back into the league last season. Kings picked him up halfway through the year to kind of stabilize their coaching situation.
And so Sessions nails both of them. And what a pickup to get a guy like Karl, Greg, on their bench, as you mentioned. He's just been a winner, Clark, his entire career.
Well, he's climbing the ladder in the all-time wins category as a coach, and also he's a cancer survivor. He's overcome a battle with cancer, and that also lends itself to having great compassion and respect for George Karl.
As did his son, Kobe.
That's right. That? That's right. It was a family affair.
Outside, Kid Gilchrist. And here's Sessions. A look at his stats. He averages a bit over 8 points a game. Shot clock at 3. Makes good on the step-back jumper.
That's what I call a captivating move there. He absolutely incinerated the D with that one.
The Kings leading. Here's Temple. He's been patient so far. Nothing yet on the scoreboard. It's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
And now we get a moment to see the numbers for Sessions. He's getting around 8 points a game, 5 assists, and 2 rebounds. And those numbers, solid, not spectacular, and sometimes what you see is what you get.
He certainly knows his role, and he gives you some good minutes. That's really all you can expect from him at this point.
Shooting 2. Shooting 2.
No good on that one.
So far in the game for Caspi, he has 11 points, and he's put 1 3-pointer on the board.
You know what, though, Clark? It wouldn't be a bad idea going forward to try to let him do a little more damage from beyond the arc.
Good on the second free throw.
And I think it's fair to say last season was a bit of a transition year for the Kings. I mean, after firing Malone and the injuries to their stars, they just tried to build for the future, realizing that was going to be in their best interest.
Zeller setting the pick for Sessions. In the corner, it's Bellinelli. And the shot is long.
No doubt he's struggling right now from the field. Let's see if he can get it going this quarter.
And the Kings last year were able to get George Karl to lead the team. A good hire for them. This team did decent under him back in the last half of the season.
Yeah, they still got a lot of work to do, but he can certainly make it happen for him. One of the outstanding coaches in our league. The Kings actually were in it for a while last year, but then had a mini rebuild mid-season.
Now here's Sessions. He's covered closely. Kid Gilchrist. It's tipped.
And you know what? He's just not on his game. No doubt about it. Their deficit isn't totally on him, but he has not been an asset for his team.
And so it looks like the Kings will retain possession here. Nicholas Batum. He's checked in for Charlotte. We've got 1:13 left to play here in the second quarter. Again, a follow missing.
If he can improve on what's been a shaky day for him thus far, they could stretch this lead out.
Sessions with it. And now by Barnes. Sessions against Barnes. Sessions dishes to Zeller. Boom! He jams it straight down.
Sessions doing a nice job that time.
Kings leading now by 3. Here's Temple. He's been patient so far. Nothing yet on the scoreboard. Here is Caspi. He's covered by Kid Gilchrist. No good from Caspi. Charlotte has gone 0-2 from deep here in the second. It's Kid Gilchrist on the wing. Outside, Batum. Here's Kaminsky. Sacramento grabs the miss.
Oh, nice play on D. Got that hand in the face and prevented him there from getting an easy look.
Exactly. Alert and aware. Really reacted quickly to that shot attempt.
Man, it's close, but, you know, didn't get on balance quick enough.
Yeah, and as quick as players are at this level, in this day and age, I mean, you've got to be perfect in your anticipation to draw the charge.
Here's Cousins. He had an 18-point outing in the last game against Orlando. Sacramento again missing. And Costa Koufos picks up the foul. That's his 3rd foul so far. Bonus situation in effect, so we'll head to the free throw line for 2. The Hornets have been getting it done at the line, 10 for 12.
All right, now, take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
Free throw drops for Lamb. And the Kings making a change here. That one falls, so he hits both of them. Here's Collison. He's got 10. With 1 on the clock, and he gets it to go. Collison's got 12 in the game.
Perfect screen there. Set him up with a terrific look.
Yeah, I like the fact that the setup was good, the screen was solid, but you also have to look at the fact that the defender didn't do his job as well as he could have.
And we're through the first half of basketball here, and what's been a good one. The Kings on top, up by 3. And a chance now to send you over to Doris Burke, standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Kevin, thank you. Roy, I know you have just a couple seconds, but in a nutshell, what's going to be your approach going into the second half?
Well, we're just going to make sure we keep them off the board and keep them out of transition.
Thank you, Roy. Kevin, over to you.
Thank you, Doris. We'll be back after halftime as the third quarter gets underway.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show. Ernie Johnson along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Darren Collison is having one of those nights. He had 12 points, 2 assists, and 1 rebound. What'd you think about Sacramento, Kenny?
Well, they're generating points in the paint, which I like to see. Too often teams fall in love with the three, and the defenses can key on that. You want to keep your offense unpredictable, which is why you need to establish a presence inside. Once you do that, then you can play inside out, and you've got the defense right where you want it.
Shaq, let's get your insight on Charlotte.
The thing I like is their aggressive approach and getting to the line. You know, when things seem to stagnate on offense, it's sometimes a matter of forcing your will. This team can generate a lot of points and also dictate the pace of the game if they play with that aggressiveness.
All right, that is going to wrap up our halftime report as it's just about time for the start of the third quarter.
Well, both sides have assessed what they need to do over the break in halftime. We'll see now if one can pull out a way here in the third.
We've seen Darren Collison getting it done. He has 12 points, and he's added to his totals by picking up 3 points at the line as well.
Yeah, that'll balance out that stat sheet nicely. I mean, you always want to see at least a few points from the free throw line.
Kings leading now by 3. Well, we've got a moment. Let's set the floor. Brought to you by Gatorade. All fueled up for the second half. Setting the floor for the Hornets. Kemba Walker is out there with Jeremy Lamb. Then there's Batum. Then it's Williams. And it's Hibbert in at the 5, roaming the paint. So it's Sacramento now. And following this game, they hit the road to challenge the Bucks at BMO Harris Bradley Center in Milwaukee. And that's the final game of this 5-game road run for the team.
And Nicholas Batum injuring his wrist last season, he was pushed in the back by Larry Sanders on a dunk and went down hard.
The Kings shooting 48% from the field. Not bad at all. Collison with it. Pass to Cauley Stein. Up top, Cousins. And he drops in the layup off the glass. Cousins has got the first points of the third quarter up on the board for the Kings. We saw that wrist bother Batum all season long. His shooting numbers down drastically. Clark, a major blow for him.
And you know what? The league might have to look at that. I mean, Sanders got a 1-game suspension, but is that really enough to discourage that kind of reckless foul? It's a thin line. So I think it's worth further look.
Hibbert hits the bucket.
Great way to start the half. Easy layup against some soft D.
Sacramento leading by 3. Outside Collison. Collison with a screen on Hibbert. Here's Cousins. Bounces high off the rim and drops. Cousins has got 4 points in the quarter.
Well, he knew how many inches he had over the guy. I mean, let's face it, good decision to just rise up and take the jump shot.
Here's Hibbert. That falls. Nice feed that time from Walker. Walker's got 6 assists here tonight.
And a big height advantage right there.
You know, it's tough to bring a big man that far away from the goal. That might be a mismatch they're willing to live with.
Cousins with a screen for Collison. Back to Gay. Batum with the steal. And Walker with a clear path to the hoop. Drops in the breakaway layup. And now just a 1-point Sacramento lead.
Guys, they've had a solid start to the second half offensively. gotten good looks. They've made 3 out of 4 of them.
The drive by Collison. It falls for his 5th field goal of the night. Now shooting 5 for 8. A little over 2.5 minutes off the clock in this final half of play. And stolen by Cauley Stein. Stolen by Walker. Here's Hibbert. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Yeah, easy call.
Yeah, you can hear the smack all the way over here where we are.
And guys, looking at Roy Hibbert, just a mountain of a man, listed these days at about 7'2", 290 pounds, with a wingspan of a pterodactyl. I mean, a true game changer inside when he's motivated and on his game.
The first free throw is good. Well, talking about Roy Hibbert, he doesn't just have size. He has a strong lower body, too. Very hard. And you know this, Clark. You worked for the organization. You saw it firsthand. Very hard to back that guy down in the post.
Yeah, and for years he's worked on ways to complement that size with improved training and footwork, even indulging in MMA one off season. I tell you what, he'd be one scary super heavyweight if he went the full distance in MMA.
Agreed.
You know, I thought Charlotte went to their bench as much as most other teams last season. Those guys ate up time for the starters, but weren't nearly efficient scoring the ball as you might want them to be.
Timeout called by the Kings. For the Hornets last season, their bench was weak at times. They just couldn't really score that well.
And the Hornets bench was the only bench to shoot under 40% from the floor for the season.
That'll be a 5-second call. Quickly, let's check out the league leaders in assists. 5th best, Kemba Walker.
His passing has been so terrific. You can see his unselfishness really rubbing off on the rest of the team.
Batum against Gay. Batum passes to Hibbert. The shot from the low post is good. Hibbert's got 8 points here in this quarter.
Oh, wow. 4 of 5 to start the half. Coming out on fire.
Collison against Walker. Collison kicks to Cauley Stein. McLemore dishes to Cousins. And he bangs it home with one hand. Guys, what a back-and-forth game this has been.
You know what? You're right. Neither side has been able to hang on to the lead for any kind of time at all.
And that's already resulted in 7 lead changes.
Williams a screen. Walker with a clean look. Off target from outside. Kings have gotten 4 of their first 5 second-half shots to fall. 80% since the break. And the dunk by McLemore.
Tell you what, this is some serious showmanship here. Loving that tomahawk.
Clark, he came with force, and that's not just getting 2 points. He was sending a message.
Making a statement.
And also a momentum shifter. I mean, the energy, you can see it. Take a look at the bench. Those guys are fired up. That makes you want to fight.
Walker the pass to Lamb. No good with the triple.
And there have been some terrible shot choices here, Kev. That's not a good look at all.
Collison against Walker. Collison kicks to Cousins. Gay with no one around. Good. And it's Cousins picking up the assist. And 11 points for Rudy Gay. Hornets trail by 6. Outside, Walker. To the wing right side. To stop the run. Here's Williams. And at last, they get one to fall. Williams has got 8.
They have got to put a body on it, because otherwise, with his agility and athleticism, they're not going to be able to contain him on the offensive glass.
McLemore dishes to Collison. He kicks it to Cousins. 6 to shoot. And a fast break now for the Hornets. No good from Lamb.
You know what? He's just stone cold right now. Really not sure if he's their best option offensively as they try to get back in this game.
Man, you talk about a guy that's bounced around the league since he's been in it. Darren Collison. I mean, he's played on 5 different teams in his first 6 seasons and has been a contributor and an impact player on all of them.
For Darren Collison, played a career-high 35 minutes a game last year. Seemed to help him find his rhythm, Greg, on offense.
And his coach had confidence in him, and boy, did he deliver. Unfortunately, though, Kevin, that hip injury shut him down after 45 games, but a positive season for him to build upon nonetheless.
So a whole new group on the floor now for Charlotte. And the Kings will go for a different look here. Kufis checked in for Cauley Stein. Caspi comes in for DeMarcus Cousins. Matt Barnes is checked in for Rudy Gay. And it's a Flawless in for McLemore. And both free throws good for Darren Collison.
Yeah, in the quest to get to the playoffs, the Hornets came up short last season. A lot of that was due to how they fared against the Western Conference. They just couldn't keep up with the offensive firepower coming out of the West.
Here's Zeller. Barnes grabs the miss. Kings leading now by 6. Outside Collison. He dishes it to Barnes. Good, and the assist goes to Collison. Collison's got 3 assists now in this one. As you mentioned, the Hornets struggled against the West, only won 8 games in their 30 games played.
And you need to be near 500 against the West if you want to make the playoffs in the East. But it was their lack of offense that just made it so hard for the Hornets to keep up with a lot of teams in the West.
I'll tell you what, folks, I bet he won't miss that shot next time he takes it.
On offense, here are the Kings. They're on a 14-6 run. A follow outside. Back to Collison. A follow goes in. Got a piece of it. And now running up the court, Kid Gilchrist pushing it up. And that one's good. Kid Gilchrist has got 8. Sacramento's gone 2 of 3 when they ventured outside the arc in the 3rd quarter. Collison, the pass to Kufis. The dish to Casper. And it's Barnes slamming it down.
Taking it to the rack with power right there.
And hammering down with the 2-handed slam.
Just piling on the lead with a dunk like that.
Hornets trail by 9. Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, I mean, a cold stretch offensively. They desperately need a basket.
They set the pick. Bellinelli with the 3. Good. 12 points for him.
You know, the defense has got to do a much better job of fighting over those screens.
And, Greg, especially when the ball is in his hands. I mean, come on now. You know, he doesn't miss too many open looks like that.
A follow right side. He feeds it to Casper. Some nice ball movement here by the Kings. Collison, no good. Charlotte has gone 1 of 3 from downtown since halftime. And Sessions kicks to Bellinelli. Pick by Zeller. Pass to Kid Gilchrist. Rebound by the Kings. Barnes has got his 3rd rebound on the night. There's the feed to Collison. To the wing on the left. Caspi for 3. But they get it back. It fails to fall. Now shooting just a little better than 50%. 5 for 9. Sessions with it. Now guarded by Aflalo. Zeller, a screen on Barnes. Kid Gilchrist dishes to Zeller. 4 on the shot clock. Goes up from the top of the key. Hornets keep it alive. Bellinelli with the 3. Not that time. His 6th miss. He's made 4 of 10 so far. And Aflalo kicks to Kufis. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here. And for Costa Kufis, Clark, so far he hasn't had that breakout year. He has been kind of in the shadow of Marc Gasol on that front line for Memphis.
Yeah, but he's understood his role, and he's done a nice job. He did start 81 games for Denver a few seasons ago, Kevin, but I think he's very comfortable as a backup. He's one of those guys who's just effective in limited playing stints.
And talking about Kufis, He gives you some things you want out of your bigs. Great size and activity, solid rebounds and blocks per minute numbers. He may just need a chance in the right system to show more game.
Nicholas Batum, he's checked in for Charlotte. So he comes up empty at the line.
And, you know, getting back to Kufas, one thing he has to get better at is finishing through contact. He has a really nice touch around the basket, but sometimes contact negates that.
And, guys, Nicholas Batum is a real greyhound on the floor. The guy's got long strides, runs fast, long and limber Clarkie. He covers a lot of ground.
Extremely active at both ends of the court, Kevin. Great versatility. He can defend 3 positions, and he's played big minutes for the Blazers.
And a closer look here at the scoring breakdown for the Kings.
And I like how they've taken the high percentage shot in the paint. In that first half, we saw them doing it, and they've continued to succeed as the game has worn on.
Another thing they've done tonight well is share the ball. So many of their points have come off of good, crisp passes.
And the second free throw, good.
And guys, now the NBA has what's called player tracking. I mean, they can show how much ground a player can cover over the course of a season. And Nicholas Batum, always amongst the leaders. 2 seasons ago, he was #1.
Now here's Sessions. He's guarded closely. On the wing, Batum. Kept alive. Kings leading now by 5. Here's Kufas. Off the mark, and the drop continues.
And Batum with that slender build, you know, you like his height and length, but he can get pushed around at times. I think he can still stand to add some strength.
Sessions passes to Zeller. Batum with the ball. Headed now by Barnes. Off the pick. Here's Zeller. Boom, he jams it straight down.
And Kevin, the knack for the offensive rebound are a big part of what makes this guy special.
Not to mention, Greg, his ability to finish with strength just like that.
Yeah, he's an invaluable asset for them to have. No question about it.
And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2. And watching Matt Barnes, he will do all the dirty work for you. He's an instigator. He's an agitator, and he's a team player. I think at the core. And everywhere he's gone, you know, and he's played for a lot of teams. Greg, he's had that role.
It's a great point. I call him a glue guy. You know, he's not someone who's going to be a volume scorer or a smooth playmaker, but the game really is built on grit, diving for loose balls, taking charges, making hard fouls, you know, whatever it takes to help his team win. I like that line, antagonist. That's a very good way to describe him.
And the Kings making a change here. Gay's checked in. He hits both from the stripe.
For Matt Barnes, I really felt last season was one of his best. He was the Tony Allen-type defensive guy for Doc Rivers' team. Did all the little things, and he was efficient. Near his career high for 3-point percentage and a career low in turnover.
There's the pick. Pick by Zeller. Kid Gilchrist dishes to Zeller. And yep, that's going to be a flagrant foul. Unnecessary contact.
And Kevin, that's a pretty dangerous play right there. I mean, I don't like to see a player put an opponent in harm's way, as much as you just saw him do there. Glad they pinned a flagrant on him.
Yeah, you're right, Greg. The officials were all over it. They weren't going to let him off the hook that time. This is his first free throw of the game. That free throw, no good. That one misses. DeMarcus Cousins is checked in for Barnes. Stolen by Gay. And the Kings pushing it up now. Here's a follow. Zeller grabs the board. Zeller's got his 5th rebound in this one.
And I know if I were starting a club, Matt Barnes is the type of guy I would immediately look for. He's that tricky enforcer who has just enough skill to hurt you with his game. So him, in my book, equals winner.
Trailing here in the game, you can look at his performance as a direct indicator of why they're losing.
Out of bounds. Charlotte takes possession.
And that's just carelessness there. I mean, you have got to have your head in the game.
Charlotte making a switch here. Hibbert's checked in, and a change for Sacramento. McLemore is checked in. 1:12 left in the third quarter. Now here's Sessions. A look at his stats. He averages a bit over 8 points a game. And there's the pass to Zeller.
You know, I tell you what, he earned his money on that foul.
Yeah, if you're going to foul, then make sure that you don't give a chance for the and one.
These are his 3rd and 4th free throw attempts of the game.
Not the best statistic for him in terms of his performance at the line. Very low numbers.
And somehow it's become a real struggle at the free throw line. He's lost his way there. I mean, he's not having anywhere near the same success he had there last season.
Looking at who's out there now for the Hornets. Lamb comes in for Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, and it's Kemba Walker in for Sessions. Cauley-Stein, he's checked in for the Kings. And so Zeller nails both of them. Kings leading now by 3. 51 seconds left to play here in the third. Gay right side. Batum grabs the miss. Batum's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Here's Walker. They get it back, and Batum takes to Lamb. No good from the low block.
And I don't know if he needs a rest in this quarter or what, but he needs something to get off the snide.
And stolen by Hibbert.
And if they're smart, they can hold it for the last shot.
To me, that's got to be the target. Make sure you manage the clock effectively so you do get the last shot.
Rudy Gay on the wing. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, easy call.
Yeah, you can hear the smack all the way over here where we are.
First trip to the line for him here.
He's knocked down 3/4 of his foul shots this season, so he's right around 75%.
And it's really baffling. I don't know how he lost his touch at the line so dramatically, guys. I mean, and it happened quickly as well. He's nowhere close to what he shot from the line last season.
And the second free throw, good. 9 seconds left in the third quarter of the game. To the middle. Got a piece of it. And stolen by Gay. And we've reached the end of the third. Kings lead by 4. And when we return, we'll get the fourth quarter rolling right here on 2K Sports. Thanks for joining us again as we get set for the fourth quarter. A terrific game so far. So it's the Hornets now, trailing by 4 on the court for Sacramento. Allison runs the point with McLemore at the 2. DeMarcus Cousins out there with Cauley-Stein. And it's Gay in at the small forward. Williams, that's good.
Now is not the time to be giving him that kind of shot.
Now Collison. It's tipped. Batum with the steal. Outside, Walker to tie it up. Perfect on the shot. Swishes it through. Walker's got the game tied up here for the Hornets. And for Sacramento, they're shooting at 50% in a decent group. Screen by Cousins. Cauley-Stein with it. Working on Williams. And Cauley-Stein throws it down.
And guys, right now, the defense mentally not there. Can't afford too many of those in a close game like this.
Yeah, Jay, you're right. Almost a free run, don't you think? Clark to the hoop for him there.
Momentum can swing on plays like that, Kevin, especially when the finish has that much thunder on it.
Charlotte calls timeout.
You know what? They just are in a funk right now offensively. A good time to maybe come up with a play to get them a good look.
Well, most coaches, we usually have a go-to speech or tactic that they can use when they need it most. So we'll see if that's the case here.
Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
I was able to listen in on what Steve Clifford was going over with his team. He talked mainly about giving them a different look defensively and dropping more bodies into the paint, saying, listen, they're eating us up on the inside, and we need to do whatever it takes to stop it. Guys, back to you.
Outside Collison. Dishes to Cousins. Cauley-Stein. Good. And it's Cousins picking up the assist. And it's a 4-point Kings lead.
Really, the defense is helpless to stop a layup right there. Just too much of an advantage in terms of the mismatch.
From deep, Walker. And yes, sir, that one drops.
And you know what? He's shaking off the cold shooting performance from the first half.
On offense, here are the Kings. Their biggest lead of the game was 9. Walker against Collison. The drive by Cousins. And Hibbert with the block. And so the ball out of bounds. Hibbert touched it last. And Marvin Williams picks up the foul. That's foul number 2 for him.
That's his second personal.
Here's McLemore. Blanketed by the D. He fights to the rim for the layup. And the Kings lead by 3.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Yeah, I think they've got to ramp up the aggressiveness, Greg. I mean, if they don't, things are just going to get worse from here.
Now here's Lamb, guarded by McLemore. Shoots from the baseline. That one wide left. Kings leading now by 3. Kicks to Collison. No good. Great D that time from Hibbert.
That's what we call good defense in the paint. Worth its weight in gold.
It absolutely is, and maybe even more than that. I mean, you saw it right there. Without his presence, that's an easy basket.
Kid Gilchrist, he's checked in for Nicholas Batum. For those just joining us, fourth quarter here. We're just over 2.5 minutes into it. And stolen by Cauley-Stein. Gabe passes to Cousins. Walker with some nice D.
That's not the type of opportunity he fails to convert very often.
And there's the basket. Whistle blows and a chance for a three-point play. Going to the line for 1.
And that's how the coach would draw it up on the fast break from start to finish.
Yeah, and what a finish it was, guys. Really nicely done.
Aaron Aflalo, he's checked in for Sacramento. Free throw drops for Kid Gilchrist. When you think of Kid Gilchrist, one thing that comes to mind is intangibles. He has a desire and intensity and a will to win that elevates him to elite status.
Yeah, you know, he never will be a great shooter, and he's still working on his jump shot. But the intangibles, you talked about it, you add heart and tenacity to that. Every team wants a guy like that.
And Lamb kicks to Walker. Williams a screen on a follow. Hibbert at the elbow to take the lead. The shot's good on the assist by Walker. Walker's got assist number 8 now on the night. Breaking down some numbers here, the hustle stats for the Hornets.
Contested shots and block shots. They're bread and butter defensively. They're giving up no easy looks.
Yeah, and also the way they've been able to generate points off of the turnovers that they forced tonight has also helped. And talking about Kip Gilchrist, yes, he's worked to fix his shooting form last season, but the real improvement was made on the boards. He averaged 7.5 rebounds a game in only 29 minutes of play. That is outstanding.
Outside, Walker. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
And for Kid Gilchrist, he was accustomed to so much winning in high school, college, international competition. He's had a rough first 3 years in the NBA, making the playoffs only once in that time. But he's a real warrior, so that has to be killing him inside. It's been a good one for Walker. He's got 11 points and a huge helping of assists as well.
No doubt about it. He's the conductor, the band leader, Clark, and this offense has really performed at a high level.
Kemba Walker hits them both. Well, last season, Greg, another year without playoff basketball in Sacramento. A shame to see some of the best fans in the NBA not be a part of the postseason.
And it's a great point, Kevin. Now, 9 straight years where the Kings have failed to make the postseason. 29-win seasons aren't going to get you very far when you're battling in the West.
Back to Aflalo. Shot clock at 5. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
And, you know, you mentioned the 9 straight years without a playoff appearance for the Kings. Their last trip was in 2006. And since then, they've been rebuilding. That's the second longest playoff drought in the NBA.
Well, if the Kings do make it back to the playoffs, you know they'll be dangerous. Their fans have been through so much the last few seasons. They really deserve to see a team in postseason contention.
You know, it's been a bad day for them at the line today as a whole, and far too often, that's the case for this team.
And that trip coming up empty, missing both.
Usually free throws are a formality for him. I didn't expect that result when he stepped up there.
And now the Kings, fast break. Cousins with the ball. Shot's good. 18 points for Collison.
And when they've gone to him, he has come through big time. You got to keep getting him touches.
Lamb dishes to Williams. And the rejection by Cousins. Collison against Walker. Gay passes to Cousins. Wide open look here for Cauley Stein. No good from outside. The Hornets have gone 5 of 10, 50% from the field. And Lamb kicks to Hibbert. Passes it to Kid Gilchrist. Right block shot. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
It's been a good one for Williams. He has 9 rebounds and 10 points.
At the line for your Hornets, shooting 2, Marvin Williams.
And he can't get the first one.
We got this. We got this.
He's off on the second. Sacramento's gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the 4th. Collison kicks to Aflalo. The shot's good. Collison making the play. Collison's got assist number 5 here tonight.
Great job to hit his teammate on that move, Kevin.
Collison against Walker. Feeds it to Hibbert. In for his 7th make in 13 tries.
It's starting to look like a repeat of last night, guys. He's battling really hard out there.
The Kings have gone 6 of 13, so just above 46% on their field goal attempts here in the quarter. Collison up top, guarded by Walker. Collison dishes to Cauley Stein. The three from Aflalo. The second chance effort uses the glass to finish the layup. And that's 20 points for Collison.
That's what they're hanging their hat on today, fellas. Hard-nosed, smash-mouth play down on the low block.
Old-fashioned, isn't it, my man? Old-fashioned, pound the rock basketball, and it is definitely working for them.
Here's Lamb. Excellent D there from Aflalo.
Boy, it's been a rough day for him, Kevin. I mean, he's not the only reason they're down right now, but he's certainly one of them.
Pass to Cousins. A three-pointer off the mark. Hornets trail by 3. Kid Gilchrist, the pass to Walker. To tie it up. Cousins pulls it in. Cousins has got rebound number 11 for him here tonight. No good from Gay. Charlotte shooting about 43% here in the fourth quarter. On the wing, Williams. You know what? Now Sacramento takes it the other way. And here's Collison. They set the pick to the paint, taken away by Williams. And here we go with Kid Gilchrist heading to the hoop. And he gets it to go. Here's Collison. He kicks to Gay. To the paint. Here's Cauley Stein. Back to Gay. In the corner, Aflalo with it. On the clock. From deep three-point range. And they turn over the 24-second buzzer, signaling the shot clock violation.
You know, sometimes the intensity of the game can lead to brain-neutral plays like that, guys.
Nicholas Batum. He's checked in for Charlotte. McLemore's checked in for Sacramento. The Hornets have gone 7 of 16 from the field here in the fourth. That's about 43%. It's taken away by Collison. Moving it up. And McLemore slams it in.
And you've got to wonder just how big those points are going to be. A swing like that can decide a game.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it does. The steal there, as gutsy a play defensively as you're going to see.
Outside, Walker. Hibbert with the screen. And Walker kicks to Lamb. Inside. Here's Hibbert. Makes that one fall. It's his 8th bucket in 15 shot attempts.
You know, it's really going to be all about hard work from this point on. And they worked hard to create that high-quality shot right there.
No question. That's their goal down the stretch here. I think finding those close-range rhythm shots.
Here's Gay. And the rebound goes to the Hornets. Hibbert's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. The shot by Batum, no good. The Kings leading. Here's Gay, and it's thrown down hard with both hands.
Went for the two-hander on that slam. That's where the weight room comes into play, Kevin.
I think some urgency from him there.
I think he's sensing that this is a critical time in the game, fellas.
To the middle, here's Lamb. Sacramento grabs the miss.
And since halftime, he has just been ice cold. Just can't seem to get anything to go his way.
Collison dishes to Cousins. From deep, Gay, good. And it's Cousins picking up the assist. Cousins has got his 4th assist in this one. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've had a number of empty ones, a long time without a basket.
I got to find something, you're right. There's Williams with the 3. That ball is good for another field goal, his 6th. He is 6 for 9 on the stat sheet.
And the crowd is loving this long-range bomb attack that we're seeing here tonight, coming right back to answer a 3 with one of their own.
Unbelievable couple of possessions here, Greg. I mean, the energy in here really starting to boil.
Cousins inside, covered by Hibbert, and he gets the bucket. 12 points here for Cousins.
And he has starting to turn it on now after that slow start.
And it's Hibbert in the corner. Nice pass in here by Charlotte. Williams a screen. Batum against Gay. 4 on the clock. And stolen by Cousins. The dish to McLemore. Powered down after the assist. Let him into the lane.
That very well may put the finishing touch on this one. Not at all the time to get sloppy with the basketball.
And how about the killer instinct on that possession? Not running the clock, but pushing the ball and tacking points onto the lead. Yeah, too many easy buckets coming from inside, and I think he wants to make that a point of emphasis.
I would certainly think so. I mean, if they keep giving up those kinds of easy looks inside, they'll be in big trouble.
Charlotte calls timeout. They trail by 7. There's a minute 34 left in the fourth quarter. There's a minute 34 left in the fourth quarter.
Not a quarter to remember as far as his offense is concerned.
Yeah, you know, he's not making any kind of impact for them at that end of the court right now.
Williams comes with a double team. Cauley Stein passes to Cousins. And that's out of bounds. Sacramento will retain possession. Here's Gay, down low, stolen by Walker.
It's going to be tough for him here, but maybe, just maybe, it's not over yet.
Cannot afford any empty possessions. They've got to recycle everything, partner.
How about the feel and the awareness he had there, finding his teammate behind the defense on the break.
Timeout called by the Kings. They're up by 5. We've got 1:08 left in the fourth quarter. We've got 1:08 left to play here in the fourth. Pass to Cousins. Shot off the screen. That one off the back iron and out.
And with room like that off the pick, you have got to knock that one down.
Well, you know, they did everything right, Greg. They executed. All you want is a good look at the basket. Sometimes the shots just don't fall.
You know, he was a non-factor in that first half, but now he's making up for lost time.
Collison kicks to Cousins. And stolen by Hibbert. And here we go with Batum heading to the hoop. Yes!
What a bucket at one of the more crucial moments of the game.
How about the cool, collected way in which he delivered it?
Collison dishes to McLemore. Here's Cousins. You know what? Great D that time from Hibbert. Clark, a critical possession right here.
Boy, Kevin, you can just feel the crowd on pins and needles right now. There's no doubt about it. Walker has got the touch.
Timeout called by the Kings. They trail by 1. 20 seconds left in the fourth quarter. What's your take, guys?
And really no need to rush. Still plenty of time to get a good look.
Well, if they've got a play that they use to get a quality shot, this is the time to run.
20 seconds left to play in the final quarter. It's Gay on the way. Back to Collison. Here's Cousins. Oh, off target.
You had a foul to give there, but you'd rather not have it cost your team points.
I agree. I mean, you would have been better off using it on the floor and not on the shot. But the foul had to come either way, so it is what it is.
Quit on the first, and that ties the game up. so both free throws good that time. That puts him ahead.
Tremendous job at the line as usual. You can always bank on him in those situations.
Charlotte calls timeout. They're behind by 1. 7 seconds left to play here in the fourth. Guys, your thoughts?
And really no need to rush. Still plenty of time to get a good look.
Well, if they've got a play that they use to get a quality shot, this is the time to run.
And the Hornets with possession here. It's a 1-point game. Williams has got space. It's off. So it's the Kings taking the W in a close one. They break the hearts of every fan in the building with a dramatic late victory.
And Kevin, this is the kind of win you have to take a ton of pride in. I mean, they battled with everything they had and came through when the pressure was at its highest.
And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sideline. Doris?
Well, DeMarcus, congratulations on the win tonight. We know you're a very intense player, but tonight you certainly seem to be having a lot of fun out there.
That's the thing. I'm just trying to come out here and have fun. I got a lot going for myself, and I'm too blessed to be out here frowning all the time. So I'm going to try to keep a smile on my face.
We love to see you smile, DeMarcus. Thanks for the time. Guys?
Doris, thank you as always. And that'll wrap it up, folks. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, Clark Kellogg, and the rest of our terrific 2K Sports crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. Now it's time to head back to the studio with Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kenny Smith.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Thank you, Kevin. And now we have the opportunity to present our Jordan Player of the Game, DeMarcus Cousins. And Shaq, I can tell you want to say something. Your comments?
The thing I like most about Cousins is the passion he plays the game with. Maybe he rubs some people the wrong way, but I don't want my big man smiling all the time. I want my big man to be mean.
Tonight we saw him doing what he does best, control the backboards. With him out there, an opponent can't expect more than one shot for one possession. This guy eats every rebound. They're not giving up any second chances when he's on the floor.
And folks, that's it for us. Thank you for tuning in. Always a pleasure. For Kenny the Jet Smith, for Shaquille O'Neal, this is Ernie Johnson. Have a great night.